please, Brother Joe, to give a demonstration.
Yes, I will. I'll pray. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day of life. Thank you, Father, for another opportunity to meet and do the people's work. Father, thank you for the rain we've got. Thank you, Father, for all your blessings and the resources that you provide for us. Help us be good stewards of them. Help us always to do the right thing, make good decisions for our people. Father, I pray for those that are hurting today from loss of loved ones or health problems, whatever their issues might be. Pray for those that are standing in harm's way today, Father, that you'd bless them and watch over them, protect them. Father, go with us through this meeting now and help us make good decisions. Forgive us where we fail. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
You say it, please. Thank you. A roll call.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Christo.
Here.
Buell Englert.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Julia Coates. Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Here. Meredith Fraley. Here. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin.
Aye.
Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Tina Glory Jordan. David Thornton. Tara Callan Watts.
honey.
And John Masters. You have one.
Thank you. Approval of the last month meetings.
I move to be approved.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Your reports, natural resources, Angela Gross. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think this may be the appropriate time. Do we have anyone here that can report on environmental issues? Okay. With environmental issues becoming more prevalent not only in the Cherokee Nation but our society in general, I'd like to see the environmental group added as a monthly report to the resource committee.
Yes.
And therefore would move that to include a report from the environmental group to the resource committee report.
Second.
Have any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? And the environmental.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be reporting on behalf of Angie today. Just some of the highlights that I wanted to discuss with you. We've done 2 God Duty projects for the month so far. This year we've done 7 with our goal of 26. We've been doing a lot of work both with the environmental group as well as the community services and cultural resources and the Heritage Center on some of our ethnobotany programs. And we've actually collected in our seed bank quite a bit more than what we had planned, and we're actually working on some plans to develop several cultural seed banks and planting areas in and around the complex to preserve some of our cultural plants and materials that have been donated to us from community members and citizens from abroad. And they finished clearing the Rocky Ford Community Building site and continue to work with community services on several projects. And we just recently sent out the Natural Resources quarterly newsletter. And we also have the Natural Resources group that's helping out with several things with projects in and around the Tahlequah area. So that's all I've got. You guys have any questions?
Yes,
Todd, yes, sir. Said the Rocky Ford community. Like, what's the plan? What are we doing there?
That I do not know for sure. The Rocky Ford Community Building. What exactly are the plans for that area?
Part of that building actually kind of got sort of stalled there for a while. We got into a lawsuit over the heating and air. And then the last couple of months ago, we went ahead and took care of it. So now we're trying to go into the community and try to get the community organized so they can have some activities, and also trying to get some of the Cherokee Nation programs to go in. So there's hopefully within the next few months there'll be some activities going on there. But and they've been having some family, like Randall, who's a leader, has been having some family, deaths. The daughter got killed and those kind of things.
So you've got another group that's going to be taking over down
Actually, we're still working with him, working with that group, and then if there's other people that's going to be coming in, wants to, we'll do that. But there'll be other activities going on from the department, so we're trying to lead them in that direction. But it wasn't a lawsuit.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Okay.
Councilman Cobb?
I'm going to be sending you an email. I think I sent it to Councilor Callan Watts. There's a group that is putting a seed bank, and they are storing it in Antarctica. And
Okay.
it's seeds from around the world. They're starting with Africa, and it's one of us. You may get it from both of us, but it's actually a pretty neat deal. So when you get it, you'll know what it's about.
He
Okay.
ignored the one for me.
Thank you.
Councilman Fisher-Hall?
Yeah, I was going to see if you could follow up with me later on the email I sent you regarding the subleasing of land.
Okay. When did you send that?
I sent it, it's been probably a month ago, and it was to you because of individuals involved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that one. I'll get back with you on that one.
Thank you.
Councilman Langford, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Todd, where are we at on the Powell grant?
That was one of the things I was going to talk to you about in the facilities report. We put out the bid. Remember, I had mentioned that there was an issue on we had a mix-up on the quantities, and so we put that back out for bid, and they are due back to us on the 27th. So we'll get the bids back on the 27th of this month.
That's all.
Do I have more questions for Mr. Todd?
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Todd. Real Estate Services, Linda Dawson.
Good afternoon. My report was not in the packets, and I handed it out to everybody. I hope you all got one. If you need another, I got an extra. And I don't know if you had a chance to review it, but we did our bid on the January 16th. We had a rebid of 4 grazing units, and it was getting $17,331 per year. The new bid rate is $20,901, which is a difference of about $3,500, less any proration that we might allow for this year, but next year we'd want the full amount. Then on January 30th, we bid out the 9 agricultural units at Chilocco. It was getting an annual rent of $132,280.40. The new bid rates came up to $183,431.05, which is an expected profit of $51,150, which is a big increase. So it's about a 40% increase over the previous year. We did bid that out as an Indian preference. One of the landowners was an Indian landowner, and he wanted to exercise his Indian preference to match the highest bid, and we allowed that. And also, since October 1st, when Cherokee Nation took over operation of the buildings at Southgate, we deposited over $24,000 in rental fees. That's about $6,000 a month since October 1st, so that's doing very well. Also received 5 hunting leases back from the BIA, 1 approved housing lease, and 2 mutual help home transfers to individuals were approved. We did 1 probate that was on trust land that we submitted to the BIA. We also completed the purchase of 92 acres in Warner on February 6th. That's a property that's in the mandatory trust area. Did anyone have any questions?
Councilman Cobb?
Future plans, new initiatives, scan all IT records in a digital format for preservation. Are those the records that are over in registration?
No, those are records that are in realty, which are the original allotee records, which show how their land was allotted and the transactions that transpire after that.
Thank you.
Councilman Christianoff?
Yeah, I had asked a while back about loaning money on these cluster sites like in Cherokee, and there was talk about forming a committee, coming up with an answer, and nothing's ever been done. So I've got a couple of people in Cherokee that want to take their home, which you know y'all do the proclamation to, and you mentioned going to court with them so they can do this, go about getting a loan. I
Okay.
hate for that to happen, but if we don't move on, I'm going to send them to you and tell y'all to go to court with them.
Or just take them out of trust.
Yeah, and I hate
Okay.
anything from out trust.
Well, we've had a meeting with a bank 2 in Oklahoma City, and they gave a proposal to our Commerce Department. And I believe Anna Knight was looking at seeing if there would be maybe another bank to see if we could have something that was a little more competitive than what they were offering. And she's been looking at that, so I'll have to get back with her to see if she was able to come up with another alternate.
And this is Bank 2?
Right, it was Bank 2 is what they talked to. But they were interested in working with us on these properties.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was really hoping to hear that Bank of America would step up since we put so much money in their hands every year as a tribe.
Okay. Check with them.
Thank you.
Councilman Buzzer?
Yes, Linda, are you at liberty to tell me a little bit about number 5, protection of restricted property from adverse possession, what you might have in mind?
On that one, we go out and do, if someone gives us a report, we will go out and inspect the property and make sure that there's no one on it or doing anything. And if we are within the time frame of the 15 years, we will take action of trying to get anybody that's trying to trespass within that time frame to move off the property, do a litigation report to the solicitor's office, and make moves to remove anyone that's trying to move in on the property.
Yes.
Councilman Soap?
Did you get any information from Meredith regarding a project or a potential project in Mays County for some land development or as a resource of anything?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions for council?
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Roads and Transportation, Michael?
Good afternoon. I'll just mention some highlights this afternoon on our RR projects that we've got going. Red Barn Road here in Cherokee County. They're still placing aggregate base down on parts of that, getting it ready for pavement. They're installing the curb and gutter and continuing work on the subgrade on the west end of the project, headed towards the Hulbert area, Lost City area. Dry Creek Road up in Delaware County, we are relocating a water line within the city limits there of Little Kansas. Just on that end, once the water line is completed, they'll begin the sidewalk construction within the city limits up to the Turnpike Bridge, or the apartment complex next to the Turnpike Bridge. They have completed the guardrail installation over the Turnpike Bridge. They're placing riprap and soil stabilization throughout the project, working on fencing, installing drainage structures, and working on the subgrade throughout that project as well, and bringing it up to grade. And they did complete the work on the pedestrian bridges too, that will meet the sidewalks once they're installed. As far as the right-of-way goes, we are still waiting on property condemnation on Honey Hill project in Adair County, as well as the Rice Woodard Road in Cherokee County. I did get word last week on the Cherokee County Rice Woodard Road, that the 3 appraisers have been assigned to appraise or value the property in question. There was a waiting to be confirmed by the judge here in Cherokee County. And then also Barber Road, it's another project we've got going here in Cherokee County, and we're working on right-of-way plans and starting to make some contact with property owners out on that project to start acquiring right-of-way in through there. Just some miscellaneous items. We're working feverishly on our inventory update. That's an annual process that we go through each year. That's going to be coming to you guys in March. And we have been evaluating design engineering contracts within the department. We've put that out for bid again, and we have reviewed, I think we had 8 or 10 responses to our request, and we've evaluated all of those responses and have actually given our recommendations back to acquisition management. So those should be made public here before long. And then I did get a request from Councilman Anglin and Councilman Cobb on a project that I've been working with them on and within this Tulsa County around the Owasso area. And just, I know Bill stepped out, but Mr. Cobb, I'm waiting on a request or a response back from Mr. Jordan with Tulsa County to get the road improvement request back to me completed. And once it is, I'll get it to you guys for signature.
Okay, good.
So,
good. I saw that email. Thank you.
That's all that I had to report, sir.
Any questions, Mr. President?
Michael, I guess this is a request on the Fairview Issue Road. Looks really good. I drove to it the other day. But, what about the signs? When are you going to put them up, and then, or who's going to put them up? And then what I would request on that particular road is I'd like to see those signs maybe in the halfway of those projects instead of the beginning or the end. And I'd like to have a double-sided sign on it, if that's all possible.
Okay.
I just think that, because I've had some questions about, did the state do this road? And I think you and I went through this before because wildlife was on that particular road. But if you could, try to push somebody to put some signs.
I will, and if Todd's still in here, he may want to address this, but I'll touch on it as best I can. We're working with Todd's group on the branding initiative of the tribe.
Okay.
So the signs are probably going to be redesigned. What kind of brought this issue to light was a project we just finished within the city of Collinsville that we're pushing to get some signs on as well. We tried to order the signs, and we ran those through our communications department and found that those don't meet the new standard. So we had a meeting with Todd's group not last week, the week before, and we're working on a new design to get that out. And once we do get that set in stone, we'll get those ordered and get them out there.
All right, thank you. Another follow-up question, Michael, is on the engineering contracts, were they tarot vendors that submitted?
Yes, there were some tarot vendors that did submit. The final rankings, though, however, did not include the tarot vendors. There was one. The short list what did include an Indian-owned firm, but they're not tarot certified as of this date. I talked to them about getting tarot certified, and they've got some reservations as far as our process goes. That's about all I can say about it.
Yeah.
But they are an Indian-owned firm.
I know I had an Indian-owned firm, but they didn't make the short list, and I told them, get with purchasing, procurement, and find out. They probably, and what I take it from them, if they didn't get selected, at least they need to know why they didn't get selected.
Yeah.
So maybe next time if they need to move something here, or move something there, or do something around, which they can maybe make the short list, or maybe get the contract.
Right.
So you may be hearing that. Girl.
Okay, and we have heard from a few, and it may be one of those. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Councilman Cobb?
Have you heard, where are we on the status of this Bartlesville one? That's from County Commissioner Herndon. That's the northeast of Bartlesville. I talked to you about that a while back, and she was going to submit. You were sending her some paperwork. She was going to sign it, and I'm not really sure what happened with it.
I'm not sure what happened with it either, and I'm very familiar with this project. I think that I just need to get some signatures on it, and we can proceed with it.
And we were going to decide how much and all that.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Yeah, if once the amount is determined by you and Mr. Anglin, then you can sign it and give it to me, and we'll proceed with it from there.
Okay.
And we can get it on the agenda this month if we can get it here pretty quick like.
Does she need something?
The commissioner?
Commissioners?
No, what you have there.
You just need to talk about it?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
all right, thank you.
Yes.
We have more questions for Michael. Michael, I have a question for you. Contractors up on Dry Creek Road, one of the contractors said there wasn't enough money left to do the fencing. Or can you comment on that? Do you know?
No, I can't really comment. I don't know what they're talking about as far as not enough money left to do the fencing.
Well, Gerald Starr just called me and said that I'd asked about some fencing.
Uh-huh.
He said, well, we're out of funds, we don't have enough money to fix it.
I don't know, to be honest. We don't deal with subcontractors from my particular area. We deal with the prime contractor, which is Paragon. And as far as funds go, we're certainly fine on funds. I really don't know enough information to comment.
Well, I'll call Paragon and check.
Okay. Or I'd be happy to contact him.
Will
Either
you do
have-
that if you would, please?
Okay, I will.
Thank you. More questions? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Construction facilities, Todd Enlow.
Good afternoon again. A couple of things I wanted to keep you apprised of. We completed the renovation of the HR Human Resources building, the entryway. That included removing some asbestos tiles that had been installed in there since the original construction of the building. So that area is being finalized and touched up with the paint in the entryway. The immersion classroom project that is taking the old casino modular buildings, there were 5 of those structures. That project is 98% complete. We are in the process right now of finishing up the inside, and the bid work has gone out for the parking lot and driveway, and working with roads graciously provided us with some design work there, and hopefully that we'll get the responses back on that within the next 20 to 30 days, and finish up that project on the outside as well. Most of you noticed that we constructed somewhat of a small mountain on the west side of the ball fields. That is dirt that came over from the Muskogee Clinic. They were looking for a place to haul that, so we identified 3 areas. 22,000 yards were delivered to the main complex and child development center areas. 9,000 yards were delivered to the old sewage lagoons that's behind the financial resources building, and 3,000 yards went to the immersion classroom parking lot, and then we stockpiled 10,000 yards over there on the west side of the ball fields for some future work. The Marcoma dorm renovations, you guys appropriated dollars for that about a month ago. We had the bid out. The award is going to go to a Taro vendor. We are actually in contract negotiations with them right now, and we hope the announcement to proceed will go out to them in the next couple of days. But that is a very sizable project, renovating the 2 dorms there on the Marcoma campus, and actually came in under budget. I think total project for the 2 dorms came around $100,000 to $150,000 below estimated budget, which was a great thing. And as I mentioned earlier, the powwow grounds, the septic system has been rebid, and those responses are due back at 10 o'clock on February the 27th. A couple of things that are in progress. The Veterans Office, we have the first pass at the elevations from the architect. The Veterans Group is reviewing that today, and we're going to meet this week to kick back any suggested changes to the facility. Right now we're looking at about a 6,000 square foot estimate on construction. Originally we had estimated about 5,000, so we've increased the space by about 1,000 square feet, And I hope that I get to share this with you at the next Resources Committee meeting, the actual design of what we're looking at and what the projected cost will be. We've also been working with the Tax Commission on their design. We've got the schematic done, and they're starting to work on the floor plans now, and that will also include space for the Election Commission as well. We've also met with the Supreme Court for their facility, and they met with the architects, had several questions for them, and also asked about their previous work experience with the Supreme Court or courtroom facilities and buildings, and hopefully we'll get to start with them in the next couple of weeks as far as starting on the design of their building. FEMA trailers. I can't remember what I reported last time, but we received 12 out of a request of 25. There were 1,000 given out in this first pass. The most that was ever given to any tribe out of this initial allotment of 1,000 was 12. So we received the most that any tribe received throughout the country. The estimated value on the trailers is dependent upon the trailer is somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. Most of them are single wide. All of them, 11 of them are 3-bedroom, 2-bath. One of them is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 8 of them are in Texarkana. 4 are in Hope, Arkansas. And we are working now. We've got a bid out that's due back today for transportation and setup. We've been working with Housing Rehab and Community Services. We've identified the top applicants in several communities. And so those that are in the greatest need will receive these trailers. We have gone through and done a HUD review to verify that these trailers did pass HUD inspection, and we are conducting environmentals both on the site as well as the trailers to ensure that they are safe, reliable trailers. Even though they are free, they're probably going to cost us somewhere around $8,000 to actually transport them and set them up and get them ready. But that activity actually falls under our Indian Housing Plan, and there's dollars that are identified in the So we have 12 with this pass, and they're supposed to divvy up another 1,000 in the coming months, and we'll be eligible for the rest of that lot as well. So just kind of want to give you guys an update on where we were, but we should start deploying the trailers in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. They've already got the applications back, and they are working with the applicants to ensure that they will accept the trailers and work with them on getting their site set up and ready.
Todd, how many trailers are sitting there on the site, and where is this place you're going to pick them up? Just curious.
Combined total, I think they said they had about 10,000 on the entire facility. They've actually sold some to some private distributors for a very cheap amount, and that may be an alternative that we want to look at to assist. I had gotten word that there are a couple of distributors in Sequoia County that have them for sale for $2,000 to $2,500. And then you'd of course have to pay for setup and connectivity and all that other stuff. But the tribes were allocated 2,000 out of that 10,000. In Hope, Arkansas, they're actually
sitting there together?
Yep, they're actually lined up and on a one-way strip, and you can get to them fairly easily. The Housing Rehab Group, actually, we sent them down there 2 weeks ago. They inspected all of the trailers to make sure that they were safe and that there wasn't a bunch of repairs that had to be done on them. So they were able to go straight up to them. Within 10 minutes, they looked at their 4 trailers and inspected them. The ones in Texarkana are actually on a military base, and we had to go through quite a few hoops to make sure that they got cleared to actually enter the base and get badges and not get shot on site. And they, since it's on a military base, it's actually spread out, and so they have some in Sector B and Sector C, and they're tucked up in between trees, and the area in Texarkana is a little bit more difficult to get around in than the ones in Hope, Arkansas.
Follow-up question. Do you know where these trailers came from originally? Who made them?
Yeah, they're all,
Locally made?
there are 4 manufacturers. If you hadn't asked me, I probably could have told you right off the top of my head. Clinton is probably the major manufacturer. I think they manufactured 8 of the 12.
Where's that?
Out of state. I want to say in Mississippi or Alabama. In fact, that's where most of them are manufactured. But I can get you the list of the manufacturers. We actually have the list of the serial numbers of the trailers, the square footage, and the HUD label. And
What
all
about all
of those.
those with formaldehyde or whatever that was?
Those trailers are what you would declare a recreational vehicle, like a fifth wheel that you would pull behind. They are not designed, or do they have to comply with HUD dwelling. So a permanent residence, they would consider these homes of more of a permanent residence. The fifth wheel trailers that have been in the news for formaldehyde, they don't necessarily have to follow HUD standards. And so that's where we got in the issue. But that's one of the reasons we've gone back, and I've talked to HUD as far as their inspection process. We've got inspection stickers on all 12 trailers. We paid extra dollars to do that. And basically HUD certified that every one of them is compliant with their standards. But one of our citizens told me just a little bit ago that there was a news article that was released on the news last week that I missed, that called to question that some of the information might have been withheld from the public about the actual safety of those trailers. So that's where we're doing the environmental review, both on the trailer and the site. So we want to make sure that these are safe trailers.
Mr. Buzzard?
Todd, I know we've been inquiring, and probably not talked directly to you about the health clinic in Jay. And I think, are you aware of what's going on, or actually taking a look at the system up there?
As far as the roof system?
Yes. So
Yes.
The last rainstorm up there, it was running into three optometry rooms, running down the wall, running out in the halls, and mold is starting to build in that clinic up there now. I know there's been talk about putting a roof on there to patch it, but I've had some experience, and so have some of the other council members on here. But I think we need to go into more of a dialogue to see what we're going to do with the building.
But if I can address that.
Sure.
The chief did approach me and Melissa Gower a couple of weeks ago, asked what was going on, and at the time, Health had some funds identified to actually repair the flat roof system and basically keep it a flat roof system. And so the chief asked, what's long term, what are we going to do with the facility, and long term we're looking at an alternate site and building for a health clinic in Jay, and obviously we don't want to walk away from that investment, so we would like to move other offices and services inside the old clinic. And so we are in the process of, I'm hoping that the budget request will get to the Executive and Finance Committee to actually put in a pitched roof system over that, acting as an envelope over the structure for long-term use of the building. So,
Do you anticipate this happening fairly quickly?
Yeah.
Once you get the money appropriated?
yeah, Melissa wanted me to get it done within 10 minutes. Yeah, so we are working very quickly. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Thank you.
Any more questions for Todd? Thank you, Mr. Randolph.
Thank you.
Environmental, Tom Elkins.
Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I see we're pretty close to out of time, so I won't take a lot of your time with this. I hope you have a copy of our report in front of you. And if you don't, I can get that. I thought it was mailed out. But as you can see, we've delineated some of the things that we do. Obviously, we do a lot of other things with this, but these are the things that I thought would be most important that you all would want to see. We do a lot of environmental reviews for various things at the nation. It says that our goal requirement is about...
I don't have,
You don't have a copy of that?
They're going to staple together.
I thought it was in the packet.
oh, maybe it is.
Where is it? It's in the packet. Is it in there?
Right for legislation.
Okay, sorry.
Good deal. I've tried to delineate some of the things that we do, environmental reviews, lead-based paint, radon and things, and then some of the things our staff do through the month. And then finally, I finalized that with some of the things going on at the landfill that we've identified. Normally, I might go into more in-depth on any of those, and I could answer any questions. But I know it's about 5 o'clock now, so I won't take any more of your time except to ask if you have any questions.
Mr. President.
Tom, are you still involved with the water system, water lake, monitoring streams and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
You're still doing that?
Sure are.
Mr. Meredith.
Tom, are we doing any testing or air quality at Mid-America Industrial Park still?
Right up there by along 412? Right there, I don't believe we are, no. We've got a site in Stillwell, right outside here, up at Ponca City, and off the top of my head, that's the ones I know of. Marble City, and I think that's the 4 within the Cherokee Nation that I know of off the top of my head. But I don't think we have anything going right there right now.
I know at one time they did do some air quality monitoring, and do you happen to know where that report might be?
I can sure check.
I've had a citizen to ask me, and are those reports, can we share them with the public? Or do
Certainly.
Okay.
In fact, all the data that we collect goes into EPA, I forget the name of the database, but that's a national storette, and that's a national database that anyone can get into and get that. But I can definitely get that data and get it to you.
Thank you very much.
Councilman Buzzer.
I've got one other question.
Sure.
On E down here, met with LaDonna Turner, U.S. EPA, and you went to Maple Street property, Drumright, Muskogee Creek Nation, Wetumpka Machine Shop. What is this? Is that part of your air monitoring?
Actually, Superfund, that's where we go out and look at hazardous waste sites.
Okay.
The Cherokee Nation's the lead agency for ITEC, Intertribal Environmental Council. So we work with 40 some other tribes within Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. And they just wanted to see some of those sites. So we piggybacked with the EPA and went out to those sites. Actually, the EPA chose those sites. But
I just kind of found it interesting. All right, thanks, Tom.
Sure.
More questions for Mr. Elkins?
Thank you.
Tom.
Thanks for reporting, Tom.
Sure.
We have no old business. Move down to new business. We've got a resolution here authorizing the Bureau of Indian Affairs to revise and update the Cherokee Nation's inventory of Indian reservation roads. Michael, would you?
Yes, sir. Real quickly, this is in relation to what I mentioned earlier about us updating our IRR, Indian Reservation Roads inventory. For those veterans on the council, in years past, we have asked for a special resources committee meeting in March so that we can get this turned in. I don't know why we haven't done this in years past, but what this is a draft resolution, and I'm going to work it with the council administration staff to submit the final resolution the night of the council meeting. The body of the resolution should not change, but what could change is the data within the resolution based on information that we gather between now and March 15th is our deadline. So with all that being said, it is a draft type resolution, and the final will come through in March for the council meeting.
Your second?
Are we approving these roads now, Michael, or are you going to update this?
It will be updated, and we have already identified some changes, and I decided to just, because there could be some more changes, and I don't want to keep submitting changes to you. I want you to have the final one in March. So
I guess my question is, do we need to approve this now or wait till you get the final one in March?
I don't really know the answer to that. I think what we need to do is just forward this on to council. I don't know if you're actually approving the resolution here, or if you're...
Actually, what would happen, if we approve this resolution today, then you may or may not be able to add any more roads between now and March.
Okay, now I don't want that to happen.
So I think what you want to do is go ahead and have a special meeting on that day of the council meeting in March. Something similar we've done for the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay, yeah.
So I would ask Council Langham to withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Councilman Baker.
table it until the next regular resources meeting.
And that would work out just fine as far as the scheduling goes, because you guys meet for resources
Right.
the night of. So we would just have to pass it from resource. I was trying to follow the protocol here and get it in a month ahead, but you would need to forward it directly from resources that night on to full council that same evening, and that's fine.
I second motion.
Do we have a motion and a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Michael, I'd like to see if you could, anyway, put together a map that would show these roads in the district.
Okay.
I'd like to have that.
Okay. All right. See what I can do.
Thank you, sir. Mike,
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to let you know that the council likes chocolate cake too.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll let David
Any more
explain
questions,
that.
Michael?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Next regular meeting will be March the 10th. Need a motion to adjourn? Got a motion? Second?
Yeah.
What do you got?
The legislative conference has been canceled for today. You didn't get it in your BlackBerry. So, we don't have anything till 6.
Make motion.
Mr. Chairman, would you consider forming a subcommittee off of a resource committee to develop a plan for a new tribal council house?
Yes. And we have some,
I was going to have to go into long.
I need some committee members. You got them all?
No. You,
I'll be here.
Jack,
We have a comment.
I'm just
Chris, Chuck,
I like it.
Arlie, David. Put your hand in the one. David. I'm looking like it. Who's over here? Who's not?
Everybody raised their hand, I think.
Julia, Brad, Dawn, did you have your hand up? Yay, nay? Joe, are you?
Somebody.
I'll get that to you.
Yeah, I'll get it again.
Skiing.
I'm getting a lot of flack over here.
Shelley, would you mind
Oh,
that?
rub it in.
Are you
Put me down as no.
Oh,
Sorry I asked.
that's all right. I hope not. I have 16. I have everybody but, everybody but Greg.
I know, but you guys will put me in hold and give her
Okay, everybody but Karen. I'm not voting.
Karen, would you like on this committee? Karen, would you like on this committee? Everybody else is.
I said no on the council offices. I appreciate it. Thank you, though.
Todd, it's everybody but Karen.
Okay. Related to that, I would like to ask a question as far as when you guys would like to get together to meet that, so I can make sure that I would like to introduce our architect to you and set up some sessions and times for you guys to meet with the architect. The architect that we selected for our other project is James Childers. who is a Taro tribal citizen, who designed the Muskogee Clinic. Nowata did the original design work on Stillwell Clinic and the expansion at Sallisaw.
Change your mind, you're gonna be on the committee now, don't you?
May I?
They bid on that.
Sprague?
So this gentleman, I
Mr.
believe,
Chairman,
was
he was
adverse.
just wondering what date you want to establish for our first meeting.
We did on the 12th at 3.
We can do it on March
March
at our,
12th at 2. So moved for March
we do it on
12th
the
at 2
12th of
p.m.
March, right after the, like 3 o'clock,
2 p.m.
2 o'clock?
I make a motion for March 12th at 2 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
This architect, I understood, was adverse to ground source heat pump or other forms of sustainable alternative energy, and I don't think we need to do that on this building. I think we need to consider those.
Actually, that's, we have been working with this architect on the Veterans Office, and we are employing several environmental designs. In fact, we're filing application for a LEED design, which is Leader Environmental Design. And we've done everything from passive solar to SIP panels to collecting rainwater. So we're looking at several systems, and we've actually been working with them on our environmental policy of employing standards and looking at the presidential decree. So we're looking at several environmental practices with them.
Thank you,
Have no
Mr. Chair.
questions?
So moved to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, good.
Adjourn.
Something coming up, I'm sure you will. Skills recommend.
Actually, I did.